June 26th of 2019, I fell off the walkout in the sixth slide and broke both my wrists, both my ankles, and dusted a whole vertebrae to pieces and cracked a couple around it. I couldn't walk for 4 months and still only have 40% of motion in my painting wrist. I was solo and trapped in a lot and didn't want to call 911 and couldn't stand up, so I rolled 30 feet to a fence and laid there for 30 minutes until a homeless lady walked by and stayed with me for 2 hours trying to find some way to get me to my car, and finally called 911 after I passed out. Craziest shit that's ever happened to me, but also the biggest blessing because I was on a bad path and not happy in life, and I had 4 months to realize all the shit I was doing wrong. The main thing I learned from this was set your own limits, and if you really want to accomplish something, you just have to have the drive to do it and make it happen, to treat everybody with respect, and we are all equal, just given different opportunities and situations, and to always stay positive no matter how bad your situation gets. So yeah, what, I know you wrote about it, but what happened when you fell? You were painting alone.
Yeah, so I was like by myself. It was actually like that night I was like fighting with my ex, and I didn't want to die, but I was like, fuck life. You know what I mean? I was just like, I'm gonna go wild out, bro. Like, fuck it. And so like I did this walkout where I like walked probably like 100 feet, you know what I mean, like back and forth, and I did like a fill like over the freeway, everything, and then fucking I like walked back, but I still had some white from my outline, and I was like, I'm gonna go keep wilding out and like just keep pushing my limit, you know what I mean? And I don't remember, like, so when I fell, I think I like blacked out, and so I like woke up, you know what I mean, and I was like, what the fuck happened? But I remember like stepping over, because it was like a weird thing. It was like there was like an on ramp, and then like a get little 2 foot gap, and you just like step over onto the ledge. And I remember getting onto the ledge, and so there's still like a, it's in like Sacramento, there's like a to this day, like still there, like when, you know what I mean, I want to go back and finish the tag just because like there's some like accomplishment shit, like but yeah, so I fucking like don't remember doing the tag or whatever, but I did the A. And obviously, and I think what happened, like I've done a lot of walkouts since, is like sometimes where they connect, it has little bolts. So, you know what I mean, I was so used to just walking over, I was like, oh, A, probably kicked the bolt and just went down. And that's like, you know what I mean, like I don't remember anything, but I like came back, I like woke up, and I was like I didn't know how bad I fell or anything. I was just like, yo, I'm gonna die back here. And so I fucking like started trying to stand up, and like I had 2 broken ankles, 2 broken wrists, and like a broken back. And so like there was like an embankment, and then I was trying to like stand up on that shit. And then fucking like I was like, yo, this isn't working. I tried to like use my elbows to like push myself up and like stand, and I was like kind of like standing for a second, would like fall down. And then fucking I was like, all right, I gotta get to that fence, like I'm gonna be like back in this lot. And so I like laid as straight as possible, and I was just doing like half rolls, like I would throw my shoulder and be like and like that was on like a broken back, but I would just like get as straight as possible so I don't fuck myself up. And I rolled like 30 feet to this fence, and I was just like laying like that, and I couldn't even yell, but I was still like, help, because like my back was so I don't know, like I've never had that happen where I was trying to yell, but I just like couldn't. And it was like I got the wind knocked out of me, but it was like I could breathe somewhat, but it was just like I just couldn't yell. Like there's like my back was probably like so fucked up, it was like puncturing my lungs and shit. And so fucking I had that happen, and then like I don't know how long it was, but some homeless lady like walked by. It was like 5:30 a.m. and she walked by, and she was like, oh my god, what happened to you? And I was like, I fell, like help me get to my car. I could see where my car was. So she was like, I need to call 911. And I kept on like repeating this. I was like, I need to get to my car, go home, and go to sleep. Because like the next day I was gonna go to work and make like hella money and shit like that. I was like, yo, I got shit to do, you know what I mean? Like there's fucking like priorities. I wasn't even thinking about how bad I fell or anything. And so I like actually had tried to call a Lyft, because I was just like, not like to get a ride, but I was like, at least this person can like, I'll have 2 people to help lift me up. That's how like dedicated I was to like not calling the cops. I was like, I do not want to call 911 because like I'm gonna get arrested. I was like, I gotta get out of here, you know what I mean, like away from the situation. And then I was like, help find somebody. Like my time perception was so long, but it was like I watched the sun come up, so I know it was like at least like an hour or two. And so like I was like, help find somebody, like stand me up. And I like kind of passed out, and she came back with this dude that didn't really speak too much English. And so they were like, I think she would just kind of like lift me up, and I was like by the fence, and that's like about my painting. So this is like all that I have, you know what I mean?
As opposed you couldn't do this.
So this one broke.
Okay.
But like you know what I mean? Like that shit still like fucking does all that shit. It still like cracks or whatever, but this one just like
that's crazy.
Does
the
not
maximum
work.
It goes.
So like
here.
when I go do like tops of my lines, like it'll like fucking flare out hella hard. So like I gotta go like that, you know what I mean, to like adjust for it, because my wrist can't like curve up like how it should be. I don't know, it's hella weird, but I still make it work. But yeah, so I fucking like they lifted me up and I grabbed onto the fence, and like that's where my wrist got all fucked up, probably because I grabbed on for like my life. You know what I mean? I was pulling like harder than I've ever done like a pull up or anything like that. And like all my bones just probably separated and shit. And then I think that's when my back like bursted. And then fucking so like I felt some pain and I was like, let me down, let me down, let me down. And she let go of me because she understood me, and this dude just kept holding me, and I was like, let me down. Like I screamed at like the top of my lungs, and he was just like, yo, what the fuck? And dropped me, and I like passed out after that. And the fucking she came back however long later and was like, I called 911. What hospital you want to go to? And I was like, whichever one's closest. And then like the one thing that I remember is like I had a can still in my pocket, and like with all my shit fucked up, I was like, yo, the cops are coming. I don't want to have spray paint on me. And like I reached into my fucking my pocket and like pulled it out and just like threw it, like, and it went like 10 feet away, but like I still just like didn't have it on me, and I was like away from the spot. And fucking I remember like they got the like ambulances and all that shit, and they called like the cops were there too. And I remember the cop like looked over me with the flashlight, looked over the can and looked back at me and just shook his head, but I didn't like hear anything about it. I was just like, that shit, like they didn't. Then even when I went to the hospital, they were like, what happened? And I was like, I was just like up on the embankment, like I was like by the freeway, like smoking weed, and I like slid down the embankment, and they're like, you did not like get this much damage, like just sliding. But like I didn't realize how big it was. It was like 60 feet that I fell. Like I don't even
Do you
understand.
know how many
What?
floors that would be?
Like six.
That's like 6 floors.
Bro, it's
Holy
like
shit.
did you look at the video? Like, cause like
Yeah, no, I saw it.
it's
It
like
looked
so, and then you
huge.
see where the embankment is. Like
It's
I had to
fucking
come like
crazy.
all the way from over there. So like I guess it was just like maybe how I landed, because if like I've never broken any bone before this. So like I broke like all of them. Like I used to skate, I used to bike, I used to fucking scooter and all that shit. So like I fucking, you know, I jump like a 10 stair on a fucking scooter, bro. Like that's a metal like thing. Like you're fucking up. I sprained my ankles, my wrists, like all that shit, like hella hard. Fucking skating, bro. You'll have fucking shinners, like kick flips and fucking like rolling your ankles so many times that like all my bones, and then also my back, like the vertebrae, when I would do sit-ups, when I would get to like 45 degrees, it would like always pop. And now it doesn't do that. Like I haven't really done sit-ups since, but like it doesn't really have that like pop anymore. But I remember that was hella weird. So I think just like every single bone like in my body that was like weak, or like the areas just gave out.